Of course, there's this six-point plan on the front page of the Standard newspaper here that Raila Odinga outlined yesterday, pointed to yesterday. And the first, of course, is the launch of a national resistance movement and campaign. It says it will be the formation of a People's Assembly, which will be in existence until a legitimate president is elected. But the second one is the setting up of a council to coordinate the resistance strategies. But important is number 3. Readiness for dialogue with Uhuru to resolve the poll impasse. But the bigger question has been, what do they talk about now? Because Uhuru Kenyatta had expressed willingness to meet Raila Odinga after the elections. We've seen the elections being held, and we're seeing him now postpone that, saying I will meet him after the inauguration has happened and all the legal processes have been followed. It's still not clear what legal process will follow in the course of the next 14 days. But does it signal hope to perhaps building a bridge within the division in the country?
Certainly so. Honorable Raila Odinga and the NASA coalition, they've always been ready for dialogue. In all the instances where the IBC called for stakeholder engagement, Honorable Raila Odinga has been on record as having attended all those meetings. But counting on the words of the Deputy President recently in an interview by Al Jazeera, he was very categorical that they are ready to engage the opposition in discussion of issues of national importance to the exclusion of another election. And certainly also the President, in his acceptance speech, victory speech yesterday, he was categorical that let the constitutional processes take place. If a challenge is going to happen to the declaration of him as the President-elect, let that one be dealt with by the Supreme Court, and thereafter, if he emerges successful, then he will be ready to engage the nation, to engage the opposition, only on issues of national reconciliation and unity. So I think that one point of negotiations on the electoral impasse is a major point of divergence. Jubilee may not want to entertain thoughts of another elections right now.
But now the question would be, with Raila Odinga and the NASA faction having said they will not recognize the government or recognize Uhuru Kenyatta as president, what negotiations can they have? Because really, here you have one who says that you're not the president, and yet he sees himself as the president and the leader of government. So can there really be dialogue when you think about it?
Well, the declaration by NASA that they will not recognize the election of President Uhuru Kenyatta, I'll say that that is a political statement. Because one, Mr. Kenyatta was declared President-elect by the IBC, which is an institution set up in the Constitution to carry elections and thereafter to declare a winner, as Mr. Chebukati did. And thereafter, that declaration was gazetted, which is a legal mechanisms of identifying an election winner. And thereafter, if the president is successful in defending that declaration in the Supreme Court, then by all means and purposes is going to be sworn in as a president of the Republic. So saying that they are ready for engagement with Jubilee, in more or less means that tacitly they will have acknowledged and accepted that for all practical purposes, this is the president of the country, de facto, that is.
Let's also keep in mind that the controversial electoral laws really technically became law after the 14-day lapse since they were passed in Parliament.
It was yesterday.
Yesterday or the day before. So that being said, in the next 14 days, or in the next 7 days, are we likely to see any legal processes, considering what Chief Justice David Maraga says? If you bring an election before me with the same circumstances, I have no problem annulling it again. Are we likely to see another legal process with Raila Odinga petitioning this election?
Definitely so. And I think yesterday I pointed out that our Article 22 of the Constitution allows for what is called public interest litigation. This is a situation whereby even if I, as an aggrieved person, is not able to go to court, I'm not able to go to court under my own name, then any other public-spirited individual can be able to go to court to defend my rights. So I'm predicting a situation whereby some certain voters or group of voters, either aligned to NASA or not necessarily aligned to NASA, will definitely go to court to challenge the outcome of the October 26th presidential election. So definitely, I will place a bet that we are still going to have 1, 2 or more petitions challenging that declaration.